There was a moment, and you probably don't remember it, when your child came to you with something small. Maybe they broke a cup, maybe they said a bad word at school, maybe they hit a friend and felt terrible about it. And you reacted. Not violently, not abusively, you just reacted. A sigh, a frustrated, "Why would you do that?" A look of disappointment before a single word left your mouth. And in that moment, your child learned something they will never unlearn. Telling you the truth comes with a cost. That was the day they started filtering, and you didn't notice, because filtered children look like good children. Let me explain what actually happens inside a child's brain when they decide to stop telling you things. Because this isn't rebellion, this isn't a phase, this is a survival calculation, and children as young as 3 are already making it. When a child shares something vulnerable and the response is emotional punishment, anger, shame, withdrawal of affection, even a disappointed silence, the brain tags this experience with a threat marker. The amygdala files it under danger, not physical danger, social danger. The most terrifying kind for a child, the danger of losing their parents' love. Next time something similar happens, the child's brain runs a rapid cost-benefit analysis. Tell the truth and risk that feeling again, or hide it and stay safe. The child doesn't think this consciously. They don't sit down and weigh their options. The decision happens below awareness, driven by the same neural circuitry that makes you pull your hand away from a hot stove. It's automatic, it's protective, and it's devastatingly effective. Here's what most parents don't realize. The things you punish your child for telling you, those are the things they stop telling you about. But the behaviors don't stop, only the reporting stops. Your child still gets bullied, they just don't mention it anymore. Your child still feels anxious, they just say, "I'm fine." Your child still makes mistakes, they just get better at covering them up. And you interpret the silence as growth. They're maturing, they're handling things on their own, they don't need me as much. No, they need you exactly as much. They've just concluded that you are not a safe place to bring their mess. I want you to think about your own childhood for a moment, not the big traumas, the small ones. Was there a subject you couldn't bring up at the dinner table? A feeling that was too much? A question you learned to stop asking because the answer was always dismissal or discomfort? Most adults can point to the exact moment they stopped being fully honest with their parents. And most adults will tell you, that door, once closed, never fully reopened. This is the inheritance. The pattern passes from generation to generation, not through genetics, but through the micro-responses that teach a child what is speakable and what must be buried. Your parents did it to you, not because they were bad, because no one taught them that a child's honesty is a privilege that must be protected, not a problem that must be managed. Let me describe the 4 parental responses that systematically shut down a child's willingness to communicate. These are not abusive behaviors. They're common, everyday reactions that most parents don't even register as harmful. Number 1, the interrogation. Your child mentions something, a problem at school, a conflict with a friend, and you immediately launch into questions. What did you do? What exactly did they say? Why didn't you tell the teacher? What happened next? To you, this is involvement. To the child, this is an investigation, and investigations have suspects. The child realizes that sharing information leads to being cross-examined, and that anything they say might be used to assign blame, often back to them. So they learn, say less, give shorter answers, eventually give no answers at all. Number 2, the emotional hijack. Your child tells you something difficult. Maybe they're being excluded at school, and your reaction is bigger than theirs. You're furious. You're devastated. You're already calling the school, composing emails, threatening to march into the classroom. The child came to you with their pain. Now they're managing yours. This is called parentification of emotion. The child learns that their disclosures create chaos, so they start protecting you from information. If I tell Mum, she'll freak out. If I tell Dad, he'll make it worse. Better to just handle it myself. A 7-year-old handling it themselves because telling you felt more dangerous than the actual problem. Number 3. The instant lesson. Your child confesses something. They cheated on a test. They lied to a friend. They did something they know was wrong. And before you acknowledge the courage it took to confess, you launch into the moral lecture. That's so disappointing. You know better than that. How would you feel if someone did that to you? We've talked about this. All true, all valid, all delivered at exactly the wrong moment. Because the child didn't come to you for a lesson, they came to you because the guilt was eating them alive and they needed to feel safe enough to be imperfect. And instead of receiving safety, they received a sermon. The lesson the child actually learns? Confession is punished with lectures. Silence is rewarded with peace. The math is simple. Number 4, and this is the most invisible one, the conditional warmth. This is the parent who is warm, engaged, and affectionate when the child is performing well, good grades, good behavior, good attitude. But when the child struggles, fails, or reveals something messy, the warmth slightly, almost imperceptibly, withdraws. Not dramatically, not cruelly, just a slight cooling, a shorter hug, a more distracted response, a subtle shift in energy that the child reads with the precision of a seismograph. Children are experts at reading parental micro-expressions. They don't need you to yell, they just need to detect a 10% reduction in warmth to understand this version of me is less loved. So they curate, they show you the version that gets the warmth. The real version, the scared, confused, imperfect version, goes into hiding, sometimes permanently. Now, here's the part that should terrify every parent listening to this. The research on adolescent risk behavior, substance abuse, dangerous relationships, self-harm, risky sexual behavior, consistently shows the same protective factor over and over again. It's not strict rules, it's not monitoring, it's not even two-parent households or income levels. It's perceived parental openness, the child's belief, felt, not theorized, that they can bring anything to their parent without the relationship being damaged. The teenagers who survive adolescence with the least psychological damage are not the ones with the most rules. They're the ones who believe, deep in their bones, that their parent can handle the truth. And that belief? It's built in childhood, or it isn't. So what does safe communication actually look like? It's simpler than you think, and harder than you imagine. First, the pause. When your child tells you something that triggers you, and it will trigger you, you don't react. You don't sigh. You don't change your facial expression. You take a breath. You let the trigger pass through you without letting it reach them. This is not natural. It is not easy. It is the single most important parenting skill you will ever develop. Second, the reflection before the correction. You told me that, thank you. That must have been hard to say. 9 words, before anything else, before the consequence, before the lesson, before the fix. These 9 words tell the child, your honesty is more important to me than your perfection. If you deliver the consequence after, and you should when appropriate, the child accepts it differently, because the relationship wasn't the price of truth. The consequence was fair, but the connection remained intact. Third, the boring response. This sounds counterintuitive, but the most powerful thing you can do when your child reveals something difficult is to be remarkably calm, almost boring. Okay, tell me more about that. Not shocked, not disappointed, not excited, just steady. Because what the child is really testing isn't your opinion. They're testing your nervous system. Can you handle this? Can you hear this and still be okay? Am I safe here? A boring response says, "Nothing you tell me will make me fall apart. Nothing you are will make me leave." I want to end with a truth that is uncomfortable but necessary. The window during which your child decides whether you are someone they can talk to is not infinite. It's not even long. The core of this decision is largely formed between ages 4 and 10. By adolescence, the pattern is deeply wired. This doesn't mean it can't be repaired later, it can, but repair is exponentially harder than prevention. Every time your child comes to you with something small and inconvenient, a broken rule, a social failure, an embarrassing confession, they are running a test. Not consciously, not manipulatively, they are asking the only question that matters to a developing human. Can I be fully known by you and still be fully loved? Your answer is not in your words, it's in your face, your breath, your body, the half second before you speak. They are watching that half second with everything they have. Make it count. In our next video, we'll uncover the hidden ways your own childhood wounds are silently shaping how you parent, and why the patterns you swore you'd never repeat are the hardest ones to break. See you then.